So before we move on to the actual tearing off of the old Bellows skins and replacing them, uh, I'd like to spend just a few more minutes on the slide whistle itself. We just got done repolishing, lapping the valve area of the slide whistle, so now it seals very nicely. Another part of the slide whistle that often needs a bit of restoration is the slide whistle itself. And so what you do is you just pop off the back cap. It should slide off fairly easily. And when you do that, you can actually pull out the slide whistle itself. Now, if you remember earlier, I warned about bending this wire, and if you break this wire, it could be a bit of a problem since it attaches directly into the piston of the slide whistle itself. I believe it might be soldered in. So it can be done. I mean, you could fabricate a new wire, and you could obviously remove this one, and if you had to, you could drill a new little hole and solder a new wire in place, but it's a bit of an effort, so you want to avoid doing that if at all possible. So another thing about these slide whistles is over the course of time and several years of use, little bits of dust and dirt gets in there, and you'll see maybe some slight scoring on the piston, as well as some scoring on the inside of the cylinder itself. And that itself poses a bit of an issue and can often be difficult to resolve and correct. Some people will go to the trouble of trying to re-hone the internal portion of the cylinder. For the most part, I think you can get away with just a good thorough cleaning. And one of my favorite tools for cleaning on these guys is an airbrush, and I use an airbrush with isopropyl alcohol. I'll go ahead and turn it on, and what I do is I take my little bits and pieces and a nice little spray, and I use pure 99% isopropyl. And so when we did the little valve seat, and I did a thorough cleaning of the rouge area. I'll go ahead and show you how that's done. And then I also like to clean out the cylinder area. This isopropyl evaporates away completely, leaving no residue. You just use the pure stuff. And if you have to, you can also use a Q-tip. Sometimes I'll use a Q-tip, fluff it up, put a little bit of jeweler's rouge on it, and slide it in, and just do some hand polishing of the inside of the cylinder wall. You could also do a little bit of hand polishing of the piston itself. Be very, very gentle in this type of stuff. You don't want to do any kind of distortion of any of these components. The key is to make sure that you do some fit trials, and what you want to do is you want to stick your piston inside the cylinder and make sure, see, it's sticking right now. It's moving a little bit on the rough side. You definitely don't want to be having any oil or grease inside of these things. But moving them back and forth and lapping it into place, you can often get them to work very smooth. So this is probably the last bit of effort we will use on the slide whistle mechanism itself. The main thing is that we have this valve which is going to be enclosed into the bellows assembly. We have the valve all serviced, and if we get it all back together and we find out that we need to do a little more servicing on the slide whistle itself, we can at least do that without having to disassemble the bellows. So that's it for the slide whistle.